As I understand it, Nick, what's actually going on with the searches is that they've gotten much longer. People actually type in what is, a whole question with a question mark at the end, because that now works. Whereas before, forming a question well at Google meant figuring out what were the terms that Google wanted that would give you back the right results. It wasn't about good question forming. It was about Google knowledge, knowing how Google worked. But I think that your comment about people Google and they think they're smart is that you're actually, I think, repeating Socrates' mistake, which is, really good company to be in. But in the Phaedrus, and I'm sure you know this, that in the Phaedrus, Socrates makes a terrible mistake, doesn't make a lot. A terrible mistake, he says that he's wondering about the smart tech of his time, which was writing things down. It was literacy. And he said, this is terrible because our memory will fail. We will get much worse at remembering things. And he was absolutely right about that. Because if anybody here would like to stand up and recite the Iliad by heart, please do so and show me wrong. But generally, our memory has gotten much smaller than it was. So he was right about that, but he was wrong about the effect of literacy. The effect of literacy has, in fact, made our memory 1,000 times better. We remember so much more as a species.
But that wasn't Nick's point. I think, just to speak. You're the one who brought up Socrates, right? And so I can bring him up too.
I was making a point, though.
Well, no, but you brought Socrates up, so I'm gonna bring him up too. So what was Socrates' greatest contribution? Nick was just saying that one of the problems with Google, or our search-centric culture, is people are increasingly lazy, and what they're really lazy about is asking questions. What we're having is the automation of the act of asking a question. And that is one of the consequences or casualties of this digital revolution. And of course, Socrates' one of his greatest contributions to our culture was in the art of asking the question. That was the whole point of his philosophy, was it was about asking questions. That's what knowledge was, asking questions. And as Nick has made it clear, we have forgotten, or we are forgetting how to ask questions. So that's extremely troubling.
David Weinberger? So the other criticism or fear that Socrates had in that dialogue about writing was that written stuff is never as good as in person, face-to-face, because the written thing will not respond to you. You can't ask it a question. And the internet is not a series of answers. It's a series of conversations of various forums. And now we are able to engage in conversations about any topic, whether it's about epistemological chaos or it's about whether a Mini Cooper is any good in the winter in Boston. And we can talk with other people and we can get answers. This is a far more interactive and responsive medium than we've had before, except in-person conversation. I think